I would like to introduce Megumi. Megumi, please share your project and how you do what you do. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me, Christine. So my name is Megumi. I'm in Japan right now, and I'm a founder and executive director of Women's Eye. And Women's Eye is created right after the triple disaster, earthquake, tsunami, and the damaged nuclear plant in Fukushima in 2011. We focus on grassroots women's empowerment in the devastated area. At first, we provided direct support such as food, water, clothing, etc., especially for women, and then started to create programs where women can gather and talk. That was very important. In the last 9 years, we have had over 900 sessions to empower the local women, where more than 10,000 women have participated. Now, COVID-19. I'm pretty sure that each of us had to adapt the change both at the individual level and the organizational level. This pandemic crisis has also reminded me of the triple disaster, and I believe the situation of crisis can be a window of opportunity. So I like to provide just one example briefly talking about the latest research project about single mothers in Japan, which we just started in the crisis of the COVID-19. So I don't know how much you are familiar with the gender gap situation in Japan, but the World Economic Forum ranked Japan as, guess what, 121st among 153 countries in their gender gap index 2020. So in the COVID-19, the socially vulnerable population has been most significantly affected. And single mothers in Japan were one of those groups that were highly affected by the crisis. For example, I eat meal only once per 2 days. This was a statement from one single mother in Japan who was struggling to manage their food, trying to let her kids have meals every day. It is estimated there is about 1.2 million single mothers in Japan. The ratio of children's relative poverty among single mother household is 50.8%. So, a bit more than half of them is under the poverty line, which is one of the highest ratio among OECD countries. It is very important to provide direct support for people in need. However, when the crisis happens, the window of opportunity opens. And it is actually the time when we can challenge the status quo and approach rooted problems like single mothers issues. So we have established a team that includes a nonprofit organization that is providing direct support to the single mothers, and researchers who are focused on gender and poverty and the policy, also opinion leaders and a PR professional who can influence policymakers and the mass public. So this week, we have reached out to 5,000 single mothers and started an online survey to figure out how their jobs, income, and expenses were affected, and also to explore their vulnerability from both aspects of financial and also social resources. And if the emergency measures by the government reached them or not. Otherwise, we don't know actually what's happening. So the window of opportunity can drastically change the current system and society. That's I really believe. And collaboration across sectors and the evidence backed by data can allow us to tackle the rooted problem in a situation. So of course, collaboration is very important here too. I hope more and more leaders will be aware of this possibility of critical moments so that we can drive the world to the better place. Thank you. ありがとうございました。